Welcome to My Forever Home, the podcast. I'm Frances Cosway and I've helped hundreds of people create forever homes. I can't wait to share the journey with you. So let's start. Good morning, everyone, and happy Good Friday. You'll have to forgive me because it is a holiday for us here, and even though everything is sort of merged to one for me, I don't even know what the date is anymore. Hi, Carolyn. It doesn't even feel like it's going to be Easter, I suppose, because we normally go away, as I'm sure so many people do. And all my days have just blurred into one. I don't know whether it's the weekend or not, because my environment is effectively we're at home the whole time. So yeah, it's quite bizarre that we're just living in these times. So you'll have to excuse me because it was really only about half an hour ago I got out of my pajamas because I thought I need to go and talk to my tribe, and as I always do on a Friday at 10 o'clock, and actually chat to you today about floor plans, which is what we've had planned out for the week. So I do want to wish you a happy Easter though, because it is the start of the Easter break. And I know that many of us will be at home, and that is really what the advice has been. And I'm certainly hoping that people will do that so that we aren't forced into lockdown level 4. So today I'm going to talk to you about floor plans. And again, my eyes are going all over the place because I've got Facebook Live in front of me, and just to the side, I've got, Instagram Live. So that's why I am looking to be in both locations at the same time. So what I wanted to chat to you about is floor plans. And for those of you who know me, you know that I am incredibly passionate about getting floor plans right. And so it's really critical that we slow down at that process at the floor plan stage to make sure that we get our floor plans correct and we don't have to go through expensive changes on site. We've got a lot of variations. And as I always say to my clients and in a lot of the webinars and the live events that I run, is that floor plan is king. And so getting that right now and getting that right at the floor plan stage is just so important. Not only from a cost perspective, but it also means that you can really analyze them in a lot more detail than I suppose even when you get into the space, you can really see everything very clearly on a floor plan, and you can do great space planning, you can work out where your furniture is going to go and so forth. But I suppose in this period of our unprecedented times and our time of spending so much time at home, I think it's a really good opportunity for you to be able to use this time if you are anticipating doing a renovation or a new build or anything like that. It's a really good opportunity to actually start working on your floor plans, to start really analysing your floor plans. Perhaps you've already got a floor plan and you really want to make sure that it's right. I always suggest to my clients, slow down and get the floor plan right. I know, I have clients and I speak to people a lot. They're like, I just want to get going. And that's great. And look, I've lived through that many times, the excitement of just getting out of the ground and cracking on. It sort of takes over that, the euphoria of, we're going to get into this new place, whether it's a renovation or a new build. But I think that because we are living in slower times, our world is slowing down, which I'm actually really embracing and I'm really enjoying. I don't look like it today, but I'm still massively busy. But this slowing down process of just being at home and pottering, I really enjoy, even though I'm a massive extrovert and I need to get out as well. So use this time of slowing down to slow down and then have a look at these floor plans in detail. Hi, Linnell. Welcome and Good Friday. So I think that, if you are you're thinking about doing a renovation or a new build, and there is a lot of uncertainty at the moment. There are a lot of industries that, there is a lot of job certainty around there. And obviously with what the government has introduced, there is a lot more certainty around, having, employment and the ability to still get access to funds. So if it is something that you're thinking about long term, this may be the time to actually engage an architect and start slowly going on that journey, exploring what you can do, but also having a look at what you may have already. You have the opportunity now to be really planned and prepared. And what I'm talking to my clients about and other people that I speak to, because I've been engaging a lot with my past clients as well over the last month or so, just all people that, I've worked with over, the last 10 years. And it's this ability to be planned and prepared now, so that when we sort of come out of what we're going through now, you are absolutely 100% ready to get going. You're going to be one step ahead of everyone else. Hi, Mark. Good to see you, Eggers. It's really, a great opportunity for you to get one step ahead. And when you do have the confidence to perhaps start the actual renovation process, because obviously we don't know what's going on in the building industry. It's open at the moment, which is fabulous. There's no sign that that's actually going to be shut down, but you've got the opportunity now to slow down and use and get everything right, so that you are one step ahead and you can basically, start whenever you need to, when you feel comfortable to do so. Everything is ready to go because you're planned and prepared. So I've had a lot of people contact me recently about a service that I offer, which is a floor plan sanity check. And what that actually is a second set of professional eyes, and it's actually myself in the team that does this. And it's going over your floor plan in great detail. There's a questionnaire that goes out that sort of asks all the objectives that you've got for the home, your lifestyle aspirations, what are really important things for you to have in this home, how you want to live in this home, rather than we need 4 bedrooms or all of that sort of stuff. It's how do you want to live and experience this home? How do you want to make it feel? How do you need to live in this environment? And it's not just the home, it's the actual site as well. And so, based on this survey, where I'm able to actually have a look at your floor plans in great detail, how to create zones, where do we get energy efficiencies that are actually not going to cost anything. More often than not, I'm actually creating zones and putting in a lot of doors so that we're creating energy efficiency. We're not wasting energy when we're putting the heater on, but also noise mitigation. It is so often forgotten in a floor plan about, okay, how are we going to stop noise traveling up and down the house, from the front to the back, from main living, open plan living areas to bedroom areas? How are we going to stop noise mitigation going up and down stairs? And not only are those zones going to enable you to have energy efficiencies, depending on how you set up your heating and cooling systems, but it also means you're able to mitigate noise. You're able to create privacy. So more often than not, I'd say the number one thing that I'm doing is adding indoors. And I talk about why I'm doing that. And, and then I have a meeting with the client after I've, absolutely gone over it in minute detail. And, we do a video recording and, we go through it with it on the screen. And I've had clients basically send that to their architect and say, can you just implement all of these changes? But what I'm finding is people want that second set of professional eyes as a literal sanity check to say, yeah, we're on the right path. We've covered everything off. It's not just going to be exactly as the architect has designed necessarily. And, I'm looking at different things than what the architect's looking at. I'm looking at things like space planning and flow and how's all that furniture going to fit in there. I had an example with one where the kitchen was laid out in such a way in a renovation that the dining table was going to basically be in the thoroughfare, in the hallway. And it looked like it made sense on the floor plan. And it was only, with the eyes that I have as an interior designer, that I was able to look at that floor plan and say to the client, look, you don't have enough space to move between the bench and the dining table. But the thing I really don't like is the fact that when you open the door and you're walking into the home, you're effectively walking into that dining table. And so what it meant is that feedback went back to the architect and he basically redesigned that whole space. The kitchen was facing another way in another direction. It still met all their objectives, which is really important. But it meant that we had proper space planning and flow around all the things that had to happen, particularly in the open plan area. So this is just one of the things that we do from a floor plan perspective because I feel that it's so important. And I will actually put the link in there for you so that you can go and have a look at what a floor plan sanity check actually means and what's involved. But I suppose at this point, I've got other clients that are, putting their plans in at council. And, we can still look at the internals of a floor plan while it's getting approved at council because the local authority is really only interested in windows, how it affects overlooking, your setbacks and all those sorts of things. They don't care what's going on the inside. So even if you are at that stage, although I find that windows are quite critical, and I do take them in to the floor plan sanity check process, and I look at all the windows, their orientation, what are the shade provisions, are they too big, how are they going to work from an internal perspective as well. But if you've already gone past that at that stage, and I've had clients call me this week that they are actually at council, but we're still going to go through that sanity check process, because we will be in a position, even though it is at council, that we can change some of the internals. And maybe it is the direction of the kitchen needs to change, or maybe it is that, we need to put more doors in. Council doesn't care about stuff like that. So use this now as a really good opportunity while we're spending so much time at home and we're actually with our families. Get them involved. Let them have a say, particularly your kids, in the sort of things that they like. That's going to change, and I suppose that's one of the other elements which I harp on about all the time, is future-proofing that design. And that's a big, big component for me about the sanity check, is what sort of flexibility is in your floor plan? How can one space become something else if, changes happen within your family makeup, and, kids want to be on their own. When they're little, they want to be, wrapped around your leg, but where are they going to study? Where are they going to have time out not time out from a discipline perspective, but time out from just being on their own? My kids are, 9 and 10, and, even now in their tween stage, my older daughter just spends so much time on her own in her bedroom, colouring in and reading, and she really needs that downtime. I wish I could get that downtime. So, they need to have their own little space. So the floor plan for me needs to be flexible, and that's another reason I put doors in, so that you can create privacy, and these rooms can be more than one thing. It's interesting, clients on this call at the moment, Carolyn, and she was talking to me about her husband's now working from home. He's on the phone pretty much all day, and they've got an open plan study area. And so she can't vacuum when he's on calls. She has to really rearrange how she's doing things. Where if they had a door in that space, he could still have conference calls and work and be able to do what he needs to do. And Carolyn can go and do all of her things without interrupting him. And that's why doors are so important. So anyway, I really just wanted to share, don't waste this time. We are at home. Beat the boredom is what I've been saying, and do some learnings. I'm going to be releasing another webinar that will probably go out next week in terms of things that you'll be able to do. Hi, Georgie. Hi, Anne. Oh, all the way from the UK. Isn't that awesome? And so, use this as an opportunity to learn, to research, get on podcasts, do some courses or whatever it is. I've got masses of blogs online that you can use as resources. There's also lots of other articles that I've written for the media that are also on the website. But use this time to research and really get ahead of the game in terms of your planning and your preparation for any sort of reno or new build that you are thinking about doing. And you can get everyone involved, because you can really have a look at your own house. Okay, what's working, what's not working? That will help you formulate the brief. Don't forget, floor plan is king. Once you've built, it's very difficult to change that floor plan, unless you're going to start knocking out walls, which is expensive, and knocking off the back of houses or whatever it is. So slow down, get your floor plan right, get a second set of eyes go over it so that you really know you're on the right path. Get it as energy efficient as possible. Think about noise mitigation, zoning for your heating and cooling, shade provisions for your windows. How's all that space planning going to work? Where's your furniture going to go? You're going to trip over each other going from one area to another. So just think about all of those things. And I've put the link in for a floor plan sanity check. I'm going to be launching some new things. We've got some new online services that have been launched, which I'll talk about a little bit another time. I've also expedited the podcast that I was launching later on in the year, and that's going to launch next week. I don't know exactly. Apparently when you put it up to be live, it can take anywhere between 48 hours and 7 days. So once I know it's live, I will be letting everyone know about that. So obviously that's a really good medium for you to just consume more and more information to be able to get your home as you want it to be. So not as fancy today. I still managed to put some earrings on, but like I said, I thought it was going to be pajama day today, and then went, oh, I've got my Facebook Live. And even though it's Good Friday, I've committed to being here every Friday at 10 o'clock to share whatever I can. If you want to put a note in the comments about what you'd like me to talk about next week, this is a moving beast. I do like to plan what the topic's going to be so that you know in advance what it will be. But if you'd like me to cover something in particular, by all means, let me know in the comments. And I'll open up for questions. Has anyone got any questions today? What are you doing over Easter? Are we all staying home? I hope so. So if you've got any questions about your floor plan or anything that's going on with your home at the moment, the big focus for me over the last couple of weeks has been carving out working from home spaces for people. I've written a blog on that topic, and there's also the webinar, which I'm going to release. The feedback from that has been so positive that I am going to release the recorded version of that webinar to enable more people to be able to create a really productive but also inspiring and gorgeous working from home space. So there's lots and lots of ideas on what the best area in your home is going to be for that, how to set it up so that minimises interruptions. I've locked my door in my office today so that I don't have my kids barging in, which when I was recording yesterday for something else, they just came in, oh, Mum, lunch is ready. Yeah, well, that's great, but I'm just in the middle of doing a video. So we need to try and create a space where we're not going to be interrupted. But I'm also really conscious of the fact that not everyone does have a dedicated office or study. And so the webinar really talks about all the little areas within your home that you can think about to create a dedicated space. We're going to be home for quite a long time. I had a conversation with friends of ours, actually our neighbours. We had that my neighbours, we don't see each other anymore. So we had basically an online drinks opportunity, and, they are really feeling that it might be 3 months. And I said, well, I'm really in that this is going to be 6 months minimum that we're going to be here. So make sure that you have got an area in your home that you feel that you can really work really nicely from. So in the next, might actually launch today. If not, it'll be Monday that you have the opportunity to get a copy of that webinar so that you can really sort out your working from home space. I think it's really, really important. Oh, we've got a question. Lighting decisions for lofted or void ceilings, please. Track lighting works really well because you can have it suspended and then you can have, the lights coming off there. Downlights are quite difficult. Pendants can also work really well in terms of, again, anything that's suspended from the ceiling, you can actually then, create that lighting. So that is what I would actually suggest. And yes, homeschooling for 6 months is the next comment there. That is absolutely. My husband actually said yesterday that he's not planning on going back to work this year. That was news to me, but we've carved out our own separate spaces, even though we've got an office that we share. He's basically moved out and he's basically created his office on the bed in the master bedroom, and he just lies there all day and does his work, and he's quite happy with that. He's got his own little space, and he's an introvert, so he's happy to be in his own little zone. Georgie, you relate to that 100%. I don't know if Barney's on the bed as well, but yeah, homeschooling is definitely going to be here for 6 months, and it may even be till the end of the year. That's no problem about the lighting. If there's any other questions, please fire away. Don't forget, I'm going to be here. It's Good Friday today, but I'm still here 10 o'clock every Friday. And if there are any topics that you'd like me to cover, obviously I've got a whole heap that I'm planning to cover over the coming weeks and what I've done over the last few weeks. But if you'd like me to talk about something in particular, I think maybe next week I'll touch on another thing that's coming out from clients is, now that I'm at home all the time, all these little niggly things that have been driving me nuts, I actually have to live with now full time because I'm at home. And so I might talk about that next week in terms of what you can do. And just to sort of, you need to make this space good. It needs to be calm. You need to be happy at home now more than ever. So don't let those bugbears and those little niggly things get to you. So I might talk about that next week. So I'd love to wish you a happy Easter. I hope that you're going to have some lovely quality time. I'm going to try and do a Zoom call with my brother. I'm trying to try and get my parents on a Zoom call so we can we'll have the roast on our own on Sunday. We normally have our whole family here on Easter Sunday. So we'll do the little Easter egg hunt, and it might just be a Zoom family catch up, which I'm sure it's going to be for a lot of us. So stay safe, stay healthy. We are in this for the long haul, but it's the only way to get through this. And look, we are going to be resilient and incredibly resourceful at the end of this, because I know people are being super, super resourceful. If you're in Melbourne, enjoy the sun. and it's going to be the only sunny day we get. If you're in other locations, have a great Easter, enjoy the downtime, and I'll see you next week. See you, everyone. Bye-bye. Thank you so much for listening to this episode of My Forever Home. If you're ready to renovate or build a new home and you need help to create a beautiful and functional forever home, you can book a chat with me directly at whitepebbleinteriors.com.au/chat. Have a great day.